Hello there guys, thank you for taking the time to come and view another video with the Frontline Fitness Department. It is Mental Health Awareness Week and Hampshire Constabulary are linking in with the Mental Health Foundation and their theme this year of nature. Now this doesn't mean tree hugging or going skinny dipping, unless that's your thing, that's entirely up to you, I'm not one to judge. So being outdoors for exercise has an absolute sea of benefits, whether it's walking, running, resistance training, yoga or anything else like that. It is an absolute bundle of benefits and we're just going to discuss just a couple of them today on this whiteboard which I prepared earlier. Get a load of this. First one, improving mood and overall health. Now, that should be a fairly obvious thing. We're going to break that down a little bit more. So on some days more than others, you're going to get more vitamin D. It's a little bit grey and overcast today, but you're still going to get a degree of vitamin D inside you. So vitamin D production helps with having strong and healthy bones, vital for longevity, to be able to delay the onset of age-related issues and having weak and brittle bones, things like that. Also, it aids in the absorption of calcium from the foods you eat. Now, a 10 to 15 minute walk, which is going to lead to all of this, helps to reduce anger and depression. That came out from a study by Barton and Pretty in 2010. I'll put that out there in case you want to go and look at that. Actually, if you're a bit of a geek like me for this sort of stuff, it's quite an interesting read. But look at that again, look, a 10 to 15 minute walk can aid with anger and depression and improve your mood. So we've got some physical benefits and we've got some mental benefits as well. Absolutely awesome. Right, we're going to scratch that one off. I'll leave that up in case you want to pause that, have a look at that, treat yourself. Low cost and ease of access. Being outside, it's free, isn't it? Again, depending on the weather, it might depend how keen you are to go outside, but we're coming up to the summer months now. It's going to be a little bit toasty. Getting outside, what a bargain. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. Walk out your front door, job done. Where could you go to? You could go to your local park, you've got woodlands, you've got fields. Even if you live in the middle of a city, you can still get outside. There'll be a park somewhere or a field you can get to. If you're fortunate enough to live near any country parks or any woodland, anything like that, even just going for a stroll, it can be a very calming, relaxing experience just to take a little bit of time out just to yourself and just away from the hecticness of daily life. And not everyone has time or money. See what I did there? Look, really good at drawing I am. Not everyone has time or money for the gym all the time. They can't quite fit their schedule in with it. If they're not at a 24-hour gym, they have got commitments such as shift work, they've got commitments such as kids, things like family. All these things play into creating obstacles for people to manage being able to stay fit and healthy in the most conventional methods of going to a gym. But outside is always waiting for you. Now that's of course, as long as that is safe. If there's a massive thunderstorm, you don't want to be running on top of a mountain. If it's particularly dark out there and you're not feeling confident about running through the woods, I don't think I would be either, to be honest with you. But make sure you're safe. But outside, it's always there. Now, finding connections as well. This is where it gets, some people might think it's a little bit fluffy, but being near running water or woods, for example, help create a connection with nature. It doesn't have to be any mind-blowing sudden epiphany on anything, but just being out and going for a walk or a jog in the woods and just a calm quietness away from traffic, away from the sounds of the roads and the motorway and other people and the hustle and the bustle of things can be an exceptionally calming and centering experience. It gives you a better sense of well-being just by doing that alone. If you don't believe me, go and have a walk in the middle of the woods, go and have a walk down somewhere quiet where there aren't many people and just come back and tell me that you're more stressed than when you went out. I guarantee you won't be. Now, this is the bit everyone's probably zoned in on because everybody likes a break, don't they? I'm going to finish off by discussing a little bit about the need to look after yourself, especially by going outside. So this is not a dig anybody who smokes or vapes, okay? 100%, I'm not having a pop at anyone. Everybody is a grown up here and they all know the health risks of doing stuff like that. But again, this is not a pop at them. This is to highlight a point. Now, let's create a character. We'll call him Dave. Everybody knows a Dave, don't they? Dave smokes or vapes. So he leaves his desk, maybe a couple of times a day, but when he goes, he leaves his desk and his monitor, he goes downstairs from one of the investigation centres, for example, he goes outside, goes out to the allocated smoking area, and he's outside. He smokes or he vapes, and then he walks back upstairs, and he comes up to his terminal, and he sits down and he carries on working. He's probably been away from his desk for maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes perhaps. Dave might do that a couple of times in a day, maybe even 3 to 4 times a day, and the accumulation of those 10 to 15 minutes, we're looking at up to an hour away from Dave's screen. Not many people are batting an eyelid at the fact that Dave's going to have a cheeky cigarette or a sneaky vape down at the allocated point, because that's just the norm, isn't it? But for some reason, we don't embrace the idea of just getting away from our desks for 10 to 15 minutes even once a day, let alone a couple of times a day, or even on our lunch break, just to go and spend a little bit of time to ourselves, just to go and walk up the road, to go and walk down outside, get a little bit of vitamin D, read a book, go and look at social media if you really want, whatever you want to do. But going outside, going for a walk and getting a little bit of exercise in, that can have an absolutely enormous effect on your mental well-being. The opportunity to be away from your computer is absolutely vital. We see this as this impossible thing. We think that other people are going to think we're lazy, they're going to think that we're work shy, that we don't want to do it, but other people aren't thinking about that. Other people probably want to do the same thing as you. All I will say is I know the organisation is crazy busy, but think of it this way. All those emails that are on your account, are they screamingly urgent? Because if all of those emails were urgent, they would be phone calls. Now that's not going to sit right with some people, I know, but think about that for a minute. There are things you need to do which are important, but if they were urgent, they would be a phone call, all of them. Not everything is so important that you can't spend 10 to 15 minutes going outside and reconnecting with nature. And even if that sense of nature is just to go outside with some overcast clouds and just happen to be near a tree as you're walking past and hear some birds, and just be mindful for 10 to 15 minutes. Again, like I said, I know it sounds a bit fluffy to some people, but just try this, get into the habit. Let's help create a culture where we get outside, we reconnect with nature as much as humanly possible, whether we are just going for a walk from our terminals, or whether we're going for a run in the woods or the country park, or going out for a day for a dog walk, playing around, or doing some yoga in the middle of a field somewhere. Entirely up to you. Guys, have a look at that. Go and check out this study if you really want to, if you want to geek out. And any other questions, do give me a shout over at Frontline Fitness. More than happy to help. The organisation, Hampshire Constabulary, has so many absolutely brilliant resources. You can find them under the Wellbeing Toolkit. You can find Frontline Fitness under there. You can find stuff that the Wellbeing team in Occupational Health do, which are absolutely astounding. There will be videos from that team as well during this week. So please, please, please do engage with all of us. We are here to help you live better and come out the other side of your career feeling great and being able to do all the things you've ever wanted to do. Have a brilliant day, have a brilliant week, stay safe and look after each other.